Welcome back to Persephone Says. If you missed last week's episode on Munchausen by Proxy and how Gypsy Rose and I have a lot more in common than you think, go back and listen to that episode. Otherwise, thanks for being here. When I got engaged, I knew I did not want her to be involved, but I also felt so badly for her. And this was always like my internal battle. I still do. I still feel badly for this fucking lady because there is I think on a human level, like she's that disturbed that she's done this. And I can't even imagine the narrative that she tells other people. Like, I'm not even going to go there. But I am her only child. And so I kept her topically involved. And by that, I would be like, oh, we got our invitations. Oh, I'm going to go get my dress, like on a need to know basis. I'm fast forwarding through a bunch of years here because I do think that you need to know how this ended because it's fucking crazy. So, during that time, my dad decided to write a book because basically, my high school and for the majority of my life, he raised me solo. And the book was called Chief Daddy Officer. I was a co-author, AKA, like we ran it through a lawyer and made sure that nothing was discussed about this woman other than it being super above water, happy. Like I remember reading word for word and just being like, I don't want this to blow back up in my face. I don't like have it in me to fight her. It comes out during this time while I'm engaged, and she just started to ignore me and stop responding to me. Like, I would rarely get a phone call on my birthday anyways, or Christmas or whatever. And that was like not even a text. And I remember her finally saying to me that she was so offended that I would write this book with him and shit all over her. And how dare I? And, I remember she said, I'm sure you'd rather that I'm dead in a ditch. Like, can you imagine fucking saying that to your kid? Let's just stop right there. But those are the things that she has said to me my entire life. Like that phrase, dead in a ditch. Like, I'm sure you'd be totally fine with that. At that point, I remember, and Eddie is not like, you see him. He's the most wonderful, loving, like all of the things, okay? He is all of those things, not just through this, like in real life. And he was listening to this and I shut the phone off and I'm hysterically crying. He's like, I need you to know that when we have kids, she's never allowed near them. I don't give a fuck how your relationship goes with her. She's never to see them ever. He had never said anything like that up until that point. We had been together, I think, 4 years at that point. We're getting married in a couple months. And for me, I was so distraught that something that had nothing to do with her was now made again to be my problem. Like, again, I fucked up. I'm a horrible person. My dad is trash. I'm trash because he's trash and we're so similar. Like, I'm her kid. And I made a very hard choice to uninvite her. My dad called and uninvited her. I think with Eddie, I don't remember. And I knew that she would spiral. My dad, my entire life, as it pertains to my mom, has always been able to clock her 7 steps in advance of her. And honestly, 7 steps in advance of me too. And what I didn't know we got married in Florida at the Biltmore. And he had hired undercover cops just in case something were to come up. And he also worked with the hotel. Again, I didn't know this at all. He had worked with the hotel to redirect any packages that were to come to my room to be sent to his first. And I think the day before our wedding, maybe 2 days before our wedding, I actually did get a package from her and my grandmother, jewelry, and like a really nice card. Really weird, like super, super weird. That I didn't open. Well, I saw her handwriting and then I was like, I know this is from her. And then it disappeared. And I had a great wedding, like no hiccups. It was wonderful. We go on our honeymoon. I come back and my grandfather in Boston had passed. And I was considering going to Boston because I loved him so deeply, even though he had been there through some shitty times. I still loved him and I wanted to pay my respects. And that was the only time my dad was like, you cannot do that. I'm like, the fuck do you mean I can't do that? I'm going. I'd love for you to actually come with me, just for some stability. And he's like, you cannot do that. And he pulls out 3 letters. You guys, like, bear with me. This is going to shake the shit out of you. And they were 3 letters. One was addressed to me. One was addressed to Eddie. One was addressed to my in-laws. And they were like letters. And they were like typed out on a fucking typewriter. Hand to God on a fucking typewriter. And it was from Mr. and Mrs. Smith in Richmond, Virginia. I looked up the address. It was a commercial building in Richmond, Virginia. Like no one by Mr. and Mrs. Smith lived there. This fucking bitch. Anyways, it's the only time I'm going to say that. But like, this was supposed to be delivered to my room and to all of their rooms the morning of my wedding. And each letter pretty much said, your dad is lying to, like from my letter was, your dad is lying to you. He is not who you think he is. He has an illegitimate child in North Carolina and like, good luck to you. To Eddie, same kind of thing. Like, you don't know the family that you're marrying into. This man like is a fraud, illegitimate family, blah, blah, blah. To my husband, to my in-laws, same shit. Okay. This person loves me. And I remember reading them and being like, you've got to be like, the level of red that I saw for me, there was no return. But it was from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Excuse my French, but she was so stupid. The whole thing was so crazy and like so deranged. But you could be asking yourself, how do you know that your mom is the one who did that? Well, when you send a letter, the postal service stamps it from wherever location it is from. And it was stamped in Newton, Massachusetts, which is where she worked. So, and the stamp was a heart for Mother's Day. And it said, Mom. Like, I wanted to burn her fucking house down. I was like, never, no matter how sad I get, from this day on, I will never, like, this person wants nothing good for me. Nothing good for me. There is nothing anyone could ever say to me for me to turn that around. Have I forgiven her? I actually have. Because she's sick. and mentally ill. Am I okay and have made peace with no matter what happens moving forward? Like, no matter what happens, that I'm confident in my decision? Abso-fucking-lutely. Because this person will never, ever, ever, ever be able to connect with my kids or have the joy of being near my sons or, frankly, me. Like, no. The fact that I can sit here, I'm so glad you guys, this is dry. I held it together mostly. The fact that I'm here to even be able to share this story, I think is important because it's been a very big scarlet A on me. I thought that no one could possibly love me, knowing that all of these things had happened to me. And like, I always thought, like, what if the person I was with was like, what if she is crazy? Not that someone with bipolar is crazy. That's not actually how I feel. But I felt like a lot of shame for a really long time. And a lot of shame because I think, social media is like what I want to feed to you. What I want to feed to you is vulnerability. I'm choosing that actively. But I grew up privileged. I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful support system with my dad, with my husband, with my dad's side of the family, with my in-laws. Those are choices I've made. Therapy is a choice that I've made. Investing in myself to heal myself so that I don't shit all over my kids and damage them in any capacity, real capacity. Those are choices that we make. And I'm sharing this with the very large intention of you never know what's behind door number 1, 2, and 3. You never know how perfect something or someone's exterior can look and the darkness and the truths that they can be holding within. And I'm hoping that this connects with some of you who may have experienced hopefully nothing even close to the depths of what I experienced. I wish that on nobody, but also to not feel embarrassed or any shame by the experiences that you have had that you've had no control over. So now you know. Don't know exactly how to end this, but I appreciate you listening to my story. Until next time, see ya.